Hey everybody, it is July 2nd today, so I just thought I'd pop on. It's been a hot minute since I vlogged, but I wanted to just say hello, welcome to a new month. I can't believe it. Time is flying by. As per usual, I feel like I say that every single month, but this time for sure, it feels like time is warping, especially since I got back from Canada. I have not been working, sad to say, because I've been trying, but I'm still unemployed. I haven't worked since early December last year, so it's just been quite the challenge, and I guess I just wanted to touch a little bit what I've been going through the last couple months. That kind of has centered around the lesson of rejection, trying to apply for jobs but getting rejected. And I mean, rejection comes in your life in many different ways. You can be rejected from a relationship, you can be rejected in a social situation with friends or whatever it may be. Rejection stings. I mean, we're human, we have an ego, and when we're rejected, it hurts. That's just what it is. I mean, there's a fear of rejection that's rampant around, and there's a reason for why it's so popular. It's because nobody really wants to feel like they've been turned down, right? But sometimes it's better to look at a rejection in a different, more positive mind frame, and that's a lesson that I've had to learn in a few different ways throughout my life. But I did just want to share a couple of tips that I've learned, and also just to go over how to handle it, how to look at it in a more positive way, and how to frame it so that you can learn from it and see it more as a redirection in your life rather than a negative rejection that you have to sort of get over. It could be a positive thing, and there's so many other paths that can open up for you because of some rejection that you perceived as a bad thing, but it actually could have opened up a lot more new opportunities because you're now going down a different path instead of going down that one that you thought you wanted in the beginning. So like I said, rejection is a normal part of life. Everybody goes through it. So maybe you can find some comfort in knowing that rejection is normal. It's nothing to be afraid of. And actually, if you shift your mindset, you can turn rejection into an opportunity for personal growth and sometimes professional development if it has to do with professional context. Just don't let rejection defeat you. Don't let it throw it off your path of trying to achieve whatever goal it is. Don't let it stop you from achieving your goal of getting a job, because it will work out one day. It just wasn't meant to be for you to get that job. You can feel all the emotions that come with rejection, whether that be pain, anger, frustration, disappointment, just in that sense of losing that potential future that you thought you had envisioned for yourself, but then it didn't come to fruition the way that you wanted it to in that moment. But it's not so much about like letting that stop you from achieving your goals, but also giving yourself space to mourn that. So maybe you saw a future with somebody that you were dating, it didn't work out, then you have to give yourself some space to just let that go. And now you have to let yourself feel those disappointment and emotions, not ruminating on it, but just letting yourself feel it is really important. It really helps during this phase to just sort of talk to somebody about it, whether that be your family, friends, a therapist, even if you really need some help. But then once you've felt these emotions, you can then start to move to the next step, which is like shifting your perspective of what happened with that rejection. Instead of seeing it as a setback, how about you look at it as a valuable learning experience that is giving you a different perspective. Think about what can you learn from this rejection. You can also acknowledge areas where you took the rejection really well. It's actually really helpful to help build trust and confidence in your character, because even though it wasn't the news that you wanted at the time, that it gets easier each time, and I can just fall back on how it felt from the previous time and say, okay, well, I didn't get that job, but maybe there was something that wasn't going to work out for me anyway. It just wasn't meant to be, and something better and even more of a good fit is going to come my way. That's how I'm going to choose to look at this, rather than dwelling on the fact that I missed out. And just try not to slip into like negative thought patterns. It's really easy to blame ourselves for missing out on opportunities or blame our actions for something going wrong. It's sort of easy to just say, oh, what did I do wrong? How did I fail this thing? Honestly, give yourself some positive affirmation, because you are a very great person, and the fact that this other person didn't want to be with you is really their loss. You have to look at it like that. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. It's really helpful to sometimes just tell yourself how great you are. And that is what I like to do with positive affirmations. I will say positive things about myself instead of dwelling on what I did wrong, what I could have done better, which is fair if you're doing reflections and you do have an example, like a concrete thing that you did something and you wish you hadn't done it. Well, don't ruminate on it and judge yourself. Just acknowledge that you will improve next time. Give yourself appreciation and a pat on the back for something that you did do right. Like, instead of getting angry when somebody rejected you, you thank them for letting you know early that they weren't interested, and you move on. It really gets easier as you continue to face rejection because you just get more into the practice of it. And just remind yourself, rejection is not failure. It's a redirection. I've said that a couple times throughout this chat, and it's just a shift in your life that is necessary. For some reason, it happened this way, and you need to trust in that. So don't dwell on the fact that you missed out on your dream job and you're so gutted and it would have just been perfect and why didn't it work for me? You just gotta realize that something better is on this way, that this is just a stepping stone. It's a redirection to something that will lead you down a path of more happiness and more fulfillment, and you have to just remain proactive, resilient, and optimistic. And for me, when I do have a hard rejection, it helps to actually think about the good things that I do have in my life and practice gratitude for them. There are so many good things in my life that I have going on for me right now, and just because I don't have a job, it doesn't define me. That doesn't define my sense of worth, and it doesn't make me any less than of a person. So be grateful for what you currently have, and that will definitely help shift your mindset to see rejection as a simple redirection. So just keep pursuing your dreams and desires, and like that song says, dust yourself off and try again. And that's all I wanted to say on that. Thanks so much for watching this vlog segment, and I will see you guys in another update. Bye!